If you watched yesterday's video, you'd have been forgiven for thinking that I thought that everything was doom and gloom in the world of a West Ham fan. I don't, by the way. I just felt there were a few people concentrating on the players that we'd missed out on rather than the players that we'd actually got. Just making the point, you know, to beat PSG, to get a striker is really good. Yeah, and you look at some of the others, beat Newcastle at centre-back, that's great. To get Cornet in, fantastic. I think we're doing all right. We'll miss out on a few, we'll get a few in. But I don't mean that everybody was miserable about it, by the way, because yesterday's announcement that we'd signed Maxwell Cornet was actually prompted by a load of ice cream gags, which I thought was really, really good and reminded me of when we signed Mark Warburton, and everything was basically bread-based, wasn't it? You know, signing Warburton's the yeast of our problems. Now I'd like to see us splash some dough on some other players, that sort of thing, rising to the occasion. So I think we're quite a jolly bunch, really, and I think particularly now, because it's the start of the season, I do think most people are really looking forwards to the start of a campaign which does see us play against maybe the most formidable of all foes, really, in Manchester City. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. What a team they are. But there's things to look forward to ourselves. Now, in typical West Ham style, our new signing of Cornet. Have you seen the videos, by the way? He looks really good. He's seems like a really, really good guy. They all do. Scamacca did. Agurd really did. Flynn Downs did. Clearly, David Moyes and his backroom team are bringing in a load of decent players here. But in typical West Ham fashion, apparently Cornet was not registered in time to feature for the Man City game. I don't know. I'm not in the know. That's just the rumour that I heard. Scamacca, apparently David Moyes has said, is not fit enough to feature. Naifa Gerd is injured. We're not sure if Areola is going to play ahead of Fabianski, and Flynn Downs probably won't make the first team. So we've spent sort of summer recruiting 4 or 5 players, none of whom are going to feature in our first game of the season, which is against the toughest team. One of the, I was going to say the toughest team we could possibly play in the country, but one of the best teams in the world, let's be perfectly honest. Hey ho, look, that's just one of those things. Also added into it, I'm not downbeat, I'm quite positive and I'm looking forward to it. But it was really interesting to listen to David Moyes say, we're not ready. By the way, we're not fit. We didn't get fit in pre-season. Right, okay, Moisey boy. So we're not fit from the pre-season, didn't get us fit. And the new signings can't play. But apart from that, we're all right. And you know what? I think we are all right. And I mentioned to Gio when we did the preview, it wasn't that long ago that I remember doing previews, and the build-up would very much be, well, we keep losing sort of 4, 5, 6-0 to this team. We're going to get another dumping again. And I don't feel that now. I'm not saying Man City can't beat us or won't beat us. They probably will. Let's be fair. They have all the advantages in this fight, which is not really a fair fight in that sense, but we played them at the very end of last season. We had a squad decimated by injury, and we did really well. I thought we possibly should have won that game. And if David Moyes can get the team set up really, really tight defensively, then, we got half a chance. And it's just good to have the Premier League back. The first game was obviously last night. Crystal Palace against Arsenal. It wasn't as good a game as I expected it to be, got to be honest with you. I didn't learn an awful lot from it. What did we learn? Crystal Palace can't defend set pieces. The referee will probably always favour the bigger team. Wilfred Zaha spends a lot of time on his arse. And, did we learn anything particularly? No, probably not. But it was good to have Premier League football back. And I don't mind us, being the Sunday game, really. I'm going up there, travelling up to the game tomorrow, taking my boy. It's really nice to see that the club have sort of relented a little bit and allowed the facility to print the tickets, which is very, very good, really, and something I'd be certainly utilising myself. I can't quite get a hang of the phone and the GPay and all the rest of it. I'm old school like that, but I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I think there's some really interesting, whilst we can focus on and talk about the players that aren't going to feature, the new signings, we do have some really, really good players and some really good reasons to be positive. And I still think we will start this game with a fitter squad than we did the last game, which really was decimated by injury. Yeah, there's loads of talk that we don't quite have enough centre halves available, but we got enough. We should be able to put them in. And I would expect Dawson to play. I'd expect Zuma to play. And you know what? See, I know he's probably off. I'm talking about Diop here, but he's there in reserve if we need him, which is pretty damn good. I think Soucek, whilst Soucek's been one of our better players in pre-season, and whilst I don't read an awful lot into pre-season, he did look fit. I think that's probably more than you could say about Soucek throughout last season. So I think a fit Soucek is very, very good indeed. And it's no coincidence, bearing in mind their compatriots, is Soucek looks fitter as well. And Soucek's a really big player for us, a really big player. And if Soucek's playing well, then he can cause Man City problems as well. I felt, much like Soucek, he was on a bit of a downer last season for any number of reasons. You might think because his position been changed, or we played too many games, whatever. But there's a chance, and I think there's been so much speculation that Soucek was going to leave. It's not, it doesn't say it feels like a new signing, but it's good to have him there, and I think he can. His and Declan Rice's partnership is a good partnership. We can all argue the nuances of whether one of them should be attacking, one of them should be defending, and all that, but they do have a really good partnership there. One of the things I'm really looking forward to seeing is Michail Antonio. Because whilst we don't have Scamacca to play in this game, unless David Moyes is talking about playing games, unless David Moyes playing mind games, we see him on the bench, and he brings him on for the last 10 minutes. And I guess why wouldn't you if you want to get his fitness up? But let's just take David Moyes at his word that Scamacca's not ready. Whilst we don't have him to impact the game itself, I do wonder the impact that Scamacca might have had on Michail Antonio's mindset, and I mean in a positive way here, and even the way that Michail Antonio has trained throughout, the last couple of weeks since we signed the player. Beforehand, Antonio could do what he wanted, and he would just start the next game. Unfit, don't worry, Mickey, you're starting the next game. Collapsing on the floor, don't worry about it, mate. Actually, can you carry on? Can you play another, even though you're knackered, can you play another 10 minutes, please? That's what Moisey was saying to him. Don't worry, you're playing the next game. And playing the next game, he did. Basically, Michail Antonio was undroppable. Now we've bought a striker for whatever, 30, 35 million, whatever it might have been, Italian international. And I'm pretty sure that Michail Antonio knows he's got to be at his best. So he's going to want to puff his chest out, and he's going to want to show that he's still the main man. Competition is always good like that. And then you've got to remember that there's going to be doing finishing practice and stuff like that in training. And Michail Antonio had his eyes on Scamacca in training and thinking, hold on, this guy's here to take my place. And you can only hope, and I think it will, up his level. And I'm really, really interested to see that, because it's not just a fitness thing. Michail Antonio during last season basically decided to start playing international football again. We were flying him out on a private jet, sending a medic over with him and doing everything we could to keep him fit. And he would go over there and he'd play 2 or 3 games, Jamaica, come back. And really, when he should have been having a rest, he probably would have been jet-lagged. He would still play the game. It didn't matter. Michail Antonio played regardless. I think now he knows if he slips up, this guy takes his place. And I do wonder if we're going to see Antonio go up another level now. I don't know, maybe that's not everybody would agree with that because of his age, but maybe we see a better Antonio because of it. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I know that if we see a better Antonio, then we're going to see a very, very good Jarrod Bowen. I think you see a good Jarrod Bowen anyway. So if Antonio's playing well and Bowen's playing well, we've got a chance in this game. I think really the big decision, I think there's a couple of decisions for David Moyes. One of them's tactical in terms of the shape of the team, because it brings Cresswell into play, and Cresswell's playing left back, or he might just put Cresswell at centre back, play with the wing backs. So that's a decision. Whatever happens, he's got a decision to make on that left, be it a winger, or be it a wing back, or be it a left back. We can see that David Moyes knows that there's a problem there, as many of us have suspected for quite some time, which is why he's brought in Maxwell Cornet. But not for this game. So he's going to have to do something here. Is he going to find a place for Lanzini in the team? Who's going to play on the left? I do think we're going to be down one attacking player at least. And I'll tell you what, if there's one team that we were going to play against where David Moyes would probably sacrifice an attacking player for a defender, it would be Man City anyway. So maybe this, more than any game, we can probably do without Cornet. We can probably do without Scamacca. Probably David Moyes' intention, even if he had a full squad, might have been to put Fornals there on the left anyway, just because he works hard and he'll cover and help the defence out and whatnot. But I'm really looking forward to it. Far from some of the comments I've seen this week, I'm not resigned to a defeat in this game. I'm going there with I guess hope, more than expectation. And I hope it's going to be an absolutely lovely day out in Stratford. And we're going down the boats, meeting up with a few friends, taking my boy there, trying to get me tickets to work in the turnstile and whatnot. And just going there and enjoying what I see. You know what? I don't ever think there's a good time to play Manchester City. I think there'll always be an excellent team, but maybe, just maybe, this ain't the worst time in the world. They've got new players coming in. They've only had a couple of pre-season friendlies. I'm also quite prepared that it might be some tactical master plan from Pep Guardiola, and they might be, fit and flying and absolutely ready. They've got such a good squad. If it's not working, you know what? If Rodri's not working out, they bring on Gundogan. If Mora's not working out, they bring on Bernardo Silva, and so on and so on and so on. They have such good players. Eventually, Pep Guardiola is going to look on that bench and he's going to find the answer. And let's be fair, it is an ample bench this season. More substitutes. It's going to benefit the bigger clubs, which is why I'm pleased to see us making deals. And David Moyes needs to have a bench where he looks on things. Actually, that's my signing. That's mine. I want to bring him on. I bought him, whereas before you sort of looked at it and thought, mate, David Moyes doesn't fancy a lot of the players that he sees on the bench, and you all know who their names are. Anyway, I'm excited. Hopefully you are too. It's gonna be an interesting one. So whether you're attending at the game, maybe I'll see you down the boats. If you're watching on TV, then enjoy. Start of the season. It's been a long time. It's been a funny old season. There's a gap right in the middle of it, isn't there, for World Cup? So let's enjoy it at the start. Come on, you Irons, and all that stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. And don't discount, cheeky and sneaky as Moyes is, apparently none of the new signings there. Don't be surprised if he throws a bit of a curveball and something happens that we're not expecting.